So, welcome to a bonus episode of our podcast, Regulation Matters, a Clear Conversation. Once again, I'm your host, Line Dempsey. I'm currently the Chief Compliance Officer with Riccobene Associates Family Dentistry with practices in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. I've also been a board member, and I'm a past president of CLEAR. Now, as many of you are aware, the Council on Licensure Enforcement and Regulation, or CLEAR, is an association of individuals, agencies, and organizations that comprise the international community of professional and occupational regulation. This podcast is an opportunity for you to hear about important topics in our regulatory community. Now, this month, we're doing a two-part series with CLEAR's premier partner, Tyler Technologies. In our last episode, we talked about modernization efforts and cost-saving efficiencies through the use of technology. To further explore this topic, we're again joined by Ken Anderson, Chief Information Officer at the Arkansas Department of Labor and Licensing, and Christy Williams, General Manager for Tyler Technologies, Arkansas's business unit. CLEAR thanks Tyler Technologies for being a premier partner, and we're glad to have you both back with us today. Now, let me remind our listeners a little bit about your backgrounds. Christy Williams is the General Manager for Tyler Technologies, Arkansas business unit, a Little Rock-based team of 38 who work solely with Arkansas state and local government agencies to streamline the processes, create cost savings, and deliver public services more efficiently through technology. Now, she's a Hoosier by birth, but she is proud to call Arkansas her home by choice. Christy has been with Tyler for 11 years and leverages her communications and IT background in both the private and public sectors to help make life better for the proud people of Arkansas by simplifying their interactions with government. Now, Ken Anderson has worked in information technology for the state of Arkansas for over 25 years. A former store manager for Walmart Stores Incorporated, he is currently the Chief Information Officer for the Department of Labor and Licensing for the past 6 years and manages staff of IT professionals. Now, under his guidance, the department's Wage and Hour Division won the 2017 Governor's Quality Award for innovations in the public sector arena, as well as the Laserfish Run Smarter Award, and the department itself won the 2024 Center for Digital Government Project Experience Award for its enterprise licensing system. Under Ken's leadership, the Department of Labor and Licensing's IT division is driving transformation by implementing technology standardized and drive efficiencies in licensing, inspections, and enforcement. Now, last time we ended our discussion about licensing being both a gatekeeper and a gateway, and how to effectively balance consumer protection and reducing unnecessary barriers to entry. So let's pick up the conversation about regulatory effectiveness. So we'll start with you, Ken. What strategies have been effective in fostering collaboration across state agencies involved in the workplace and licensing policy?
Let me start off the discussion on that by saying we've seen a shift the past few years from this siloed mentality that agencies did have to more collaboration. And especially here in Arkansas, there's been several initiatives that have taken place, Launch being one of them, the workforce cabinet that was created by our governor, which combines several secretaries into one workforce cabinet to work together, so that we are seeing more collaboration. We're also beginning to see a lot more of a data sharing that is taking place among the different cabinets and agencies. We're actually creating a centralized data hub here within the state so that that data that is being collected can be shared, and a person that's submitting an application for one benefit could replicate the same data across many other applications for other benefits. The same applies as it goes to licensure. And one of the goals that we had when we started on this digital transformation was, if I created an account and I got my electrician license, and then I wanted to become an HVAC technician, I can still do it from the same portal, and I can manage all of my licenses from that one portal. So the collaboration is there. It's starting to really have some transformative effects that we're seeing. We have a tremendous dashboard that has been created that students in the state can go see what the occupation that they are interested in, potential earnings could be, and what the ask is, what is the demand for that occupation. So here in Arkansas, I think the collaboration is starting to really take hold. The data sharing is starting to really take hold, and the benefit is going to be to the citizen of the state.
Great. Well, thank you for providing that. And Christy, what about from your perspective on collaboration across state agencies?
Yeah, again, I just as somebody who's not a state employee, I've noticed a shift just in working with state agencies over the past 10 years where I would say in the past, folks in state government tended to operate more of like territorially and, hey, this is my turf, this is my responsibility, I'm going to do it my way. And now I think folks in your position tend to think more holistically and put the constituent first and ask, what can I do to collaborate and make a better decision across the whole of state government, rather than just operating from a place of this is my one job and my one agency to deliver for. So it's been really encouraging as a citizen and a resident of Arkansas, but also somebody who works with state government to see that shift. And certainly that's playing out in the different programs that are in place and seeing a lot of success that you mentioned.
Well, great to hear about those successes. Thank you. Well, last time in our conversation, we talked about the results of the Clear-Tyler survey on digital technologies within regulatory agencies and the importance of online and mobile access for state regulatory processes. Another conclusion drawn from the survey was that regulators should understand how AI is being used and that AI needs to be explored more. How is your organization seeking to better understand AI, artificial intelligence, and its practical applications in licensing, enforcement, and inspections? So Ken, let's start off with you there.
Yes, AI is the buzzword. That is what everything is headed towards in technology. So of course we are exploring that. The governor put together a committee of excellence to study AI, set up some guardrails for us. So we are approaching it in a very structured manner at this point in time. That committee is studying everything that they need to about AI and will promulgate to us the guardrails before we put it in place. Now, of course, we are branching out here, looking into things on our end. We've done a couple of test projects with AI as it relates to some manual data entry type items. And I think, Christy, you could kind of talk from the Tyler perspective, because y'all are kind of on the leading edge of some of the AI initiatives I've personally seen.
Sure. So within Tyler, we've got an AI task force that is focused solely on exploring AI and how it can be leveraged within state government to drive down manual labor, to drive automations, reduce fraud. There's so many different applications, but within the regulatory space specifically, we've been working with Ken and his team on one test application to help speed up the processing of third-party boiler inspections that are being submitted to the department from dozens of inspectors that are independent of the state. So this is mostly OCR driven. So it's kind of like we developed an AI solution that reads PDF documents and pulls down specific data from about five different fields, and then does some analysis on that data and makes a decision on, or recommendation rather, on whether this inspection passed all the criteria, or if there were some information that was questionable or not completely provided. But basically this AI is learning what a human on Ken's staff would be doing, looking at hundreds of documents that are sent in every week, and it's able to process make a pass-fail determination within seconds. And so Ken's team has these documents that are delivered to him in a pass or a fail folder with a recommendation and clear documentation on how the AI's recommendation was made. And then Ken's team can decide what to do with those documents for further processing. But really what we've seen so far has been very promising. It's eliminated about 20 hours worth of manual work for one staff member to be able to have this AI technology go in and do that manual processing with even a higher level of accuracy than what a human could do. So we're just kind of treating this as a test case to see what we can learn from it, where we can improve, and then also what other opportunities are there within the Department of Labor and Licensing, where there are manual processes like this, where there's a human looking at information, making determinations that can be further automated.
Yeah, I like hearing about these test cases where agencies are looking into opportunities where AI can automate manual processes. And CLEAR has formed a technology working group as well to look at principles and guidelines, for regulating the use of AI. And I'm excited to see what comes as we explore all these possibilities. Well, we're talking a lot today about modernization and implementing new technologies as the regulatory landscape changes. So what advice would you give to new regulatory leaders who are coming into this now?
I would say in this don't take it the wrong way when I give this advice, but I came from the private sector when I came into government. And the thing that always shocked me was how slow the wheels of government turn. So one thing that I've always tried to do was to take action. If you see something that you feel like you can change, take action and make that change. Don't let the wheels of bureaucracy slow you down that's in government. And that's one thing we've tried to do over here is speed things up a little bit. We know the direction we want to go. Let's take it in that direction and let's move as quickly as possible. And I understand you don't control everything about it, but you would be surprised how much you can move. So if you're new to the regulatory industry, understand what you're doing, understand the direction you want to go, and then take it there. Don't wait on anybody else to make that move for you. Do it. And you will be surprised at the amount of change that you can foster.
I like that advice. Take action and make the change. It's easy to get stuck in the old way of doing things because that's how we've always done it. It's great when you can recognize an inefficiency and then implement something to make it better. Well, Ken, if you could change one thing about the current regulatory landscape, what would it be and why?
For me, it's the traditional way that you think of a regulatory agency, and that's not in a good thing. Most people do not like being regulated. So what we had to face over here is we're tasked with the enforcement of what we've been tasked with. So how can we make that enforcement better for the people that we are regulating? And the way to do that is through communication. The better we can communicate and the easier we can make your communication back with us, the better experience we can offer, even though it's in a regulatory manner. People appreciate efficient communication. Doing that through the digital platform method that we have chosen has made the experience so much better for the people that we regulate. They are able to get in touch with us instantly, and they can get an answer back from us nearly instantly as well. And that makes the regulatory process that much more digestible, as it were, and acceptable. We are efficient. We get the processes done that need to be done. And in return, the consumer understands and accepts that. and they're much happier to be able to have their business taken care of, whether it's an enforcement issue or a licensure issue. As long as we're taking care of it for them in an efficient manner, it's much more acceptable. And that's what we've tried to do, and we're continuing to do as we move forward.
Well, great. And Christy, what about from your perspective? So what would you change?
I think the one thing I would change about the regulatory landscape, kind of selfishly as a consumer or a constituent, would be if I could just wave a magic wand and get rid of all the paper, I would do that. Everything should be digital. It's so much easier for the constituent and also the administrators and the regulators on the other side, but also it's just a better use of taxpayer dollars to get rid of the expense that comes along with managing paper, the hard costs of envelopes and stamps, but then also the people costs as well of having to get your hands around all of that and then enter data from a paper process into a database. There's a much better way, a more efficient, more cost-effective way that results in a better process for the constituent and state government as well. So that would be the one thing I would change if I could. And we're working on that as Tyler, and I really want to commend Ken and his team at Labor and Licensing. They are doing a tremendous job of leading the way in the state of eliminating paper and moving to an online standardized process and really setting an example for the rest of the state to follow.
Thank you, Christy. We appreciate the compliment. I'd like to throw another little statistic back in here related to the digital transformation. About 9 years ago, we actually were running out of room on a floor in our elevator section because part of the regulation in the elevator community, we had to keep every document on a vessel for the life of the vessel, even after it was decommissioned. So storing all of that paper from the early 1900s up to present day, we had about 400 filing cabinets in this one floor of a building. That it was just full of paperwork. We began our digital transformation there by getting all of that paper scanned into a repository through another product we were using. And just to be able to clear up all of that and have it at the touch of your fingertips at your desktop is what kicked off our digital transformation and wanted us to spread it across so that we no longer were searching for file folders full of paperwork. We were able to retrieve it from our desktop. And that was such an early beginning, but it led us to where we are today. And today we are almost entirely digital here at the Department of Labor and Licensing.
I can't imagine what a psychological lift that must have been to work there, to see all of that paper that was once there clogging the floors just gone. Like what symbolism there, and a positive reminder of the great work that your team is doing.
Great. Well, I have certainly enjoyed chatting with both of you about the strategies for regulatory efficiency and effectiveness. So thank you both, Ken and Christy, for sharing your insights with us.
Thank you. It has certainly been my pleasure to visit with you.
Yeah, thank you. I've enjoyed being here today.
Absolutely. And it has been a pleasure. And we'd like to continue this conversation with our members on the Clear Regulatory Network. This podcast episode will be posted there, along with some questions for our members to consider. How is your organization leveraging technology to improve regulatory efficiency? How are you implementing technology to realize cost or time-saving efficiencies? And what is your organization's experience with AI for licensing, enforcement, and inspections? We greatly appreciate and thank our members for their discussion and feedback in the Clear Regulatory Network. And if you haven't already, we invite and encourage you to join and take part in these online discussions. I also want to thank our listeners for tuning in for this bonus episode. We'll be back with another episode of Regulation Matters, a Clear Conversation very soon. And if you're new to the Clear Podcast, please subscribe to us. You can find us on Podbean or any of your favorite podcast services. And if you've enjoyed this podcast episode, please leave a rating or comment in the app. Those reviews help us to improve our ranking and make it easier for new listeners to find us. Feel free to also visit our website at www.clearhq.org for additional resources, as well as a calendar of upcoming programs and events. Finally, I'd like to thank our Clear staff, specifically Stephanie Thompson. She is our content coordinator and editor for this program. Once again, I'm Line Dempsey, and I hope to be speaking again to you very soon.